Hello, students. Welcome to week 2. This is our playbook video for June 8th through June 14th. Let's go ahead and get started. Of course, you will find our week 2 videos that you're watching here, so congrats, you found them. Next, we move on to our week 2 readings. Now, this week, our main reading is a LinkedIn Learning course. It is a quick course taking only 42 minutes if you don't use any of the speed up technology. There should also be a PDF or transcript available for you if that feels more accessible. So please complete that workshop this week and you will earn a LinkedIn Learning certificate. At the end of the week, you will submit that certificate for credit. Of course, if you already have a LinkedIn page that is strong, many of you do from our 2700 course, then feel free to go ahead and share this video. It's a great way to keep your page dynamic and moving. All right, I'm going to come back out to the module here. All right, the next couple of items you'll find are resources for your writing assignments. So this is the PowerPoint that I will be reviewing in our grind video for the week. Next, I have notes on the in-text citations using superscript. Of course, the assignment guide for that major assignment 1, you've already done your draft. We're now in the polishing, editing, revision stage of that. And then next we have an example. So let's talk momentarily about the in-text citations using superscript. So it's likely that you've already gone through this in the draft phase, but if you need to polish up, then I'll explain it here. All right, so of course your in-text citations, in-text meaning within the text of the paper, you're citing where you're getting information from. So at some point you have paraphrased some information that you found through your other sources and you're going to give credit. Now, in traditional APA formatting, you're familiar, that has the author's name and the year. And if there's many authors, then you have the et al. Now, of course, we don't see that in online articles, magazines, newspapers, because it takes up a lot of room. And if you've ever read some of these journal articles and even dissertations, then it's sometimes hard to read because of these long in-text citations. So professionals do not use traditional APA formatting. Now, depending on your place of work might do things differently. What I'm going to recommend for our class is using a superscript. All that is instead of a subscript, it's superscript. So it's just a little mini number that is, up higher, lifted up, that is going to represent the citation. So let's say this is the example. This is a paraphrased sentence that you found this information from this resource here. So in your references are numbered. They're in alpha order. And then whatever number where you found that information, you'll just put it in a little superscript right here. All right, I'm going to come back out to the module. I do want to show you how the student example used this. Now, of course, this is just a writing example. It's not perfect. And I was actually just noticing this person did have some errors in their APA references. But here you can see right off the bat, they use a superscript. So here they have, according to the Education Advisory Board, and they have this specific quote. This could have been paraphrased as well. You really only want to use specific quotes if it's really necessary. Like somebody said this, so I have to repeat it verbatim. But in this case, maybe this person could have paraphrased. Okay, and also the superscript needs to come inside of the period here. All right, but we see here they got this from the third resource. So if I wanted to find out, hey, what are they talking about? Then I could find that here. It's the third one. So these should be in alpha order. And then also in APA, make sure you're catching it. You don't use all first capital letters for all these words like you might if it was the title of your paper. So it's kind of one of those little awkward things in APA that once you know, then you'll catch those items. All right, so the major assignment, we reviewed that last week, so I'm not going to go in deep here in our playbook. All right, so I do have a reminder to complete those peer reviews. So you have prompts where you're replying to your peers. Now, that's going to bring you to your draft and working on your article. So Of course, you want to take into consideration what your peers say. We also have a fantastic TA this summer. You guys are so lucky. So she is going to be giving you feedback as well. She's one of our master students. She's been with me for several semesters now. So she is quite capable and has excellent examples. She's excellent tech writer. And so she'll be giving you some feedback as well. Now, you're going to receive some great advice, and you're going to receive some advice that you think, oh, that doesn't apply in this in this example. So if you need to take something with a grain of salt, then take it with a grain of salt. You are not required to make every change that someone recommended to you. Okay, so make sure we complete that. Okay, moving on. Remember, we're writing and we're doing the critical thinking. So we have a little activity in the discussion board about a printer problem, a copier printer problem. And for those of you who work in a corporate environment, I'm sure you're nodding your head like, oh my gosh, yes, like printers are such a pain at work. Um, and so as funny as it is, if you haven't worked in an office environment, you might be like, what's the big deal here? But for some reason, printers and copiers are always a pain at work. So you have a scenario here, and then your group will kind of work together. So everyone really needs to be paying attention and participating throughout the week, because you'll post your idea and then there'll need to be consensus and some kind of agreement there. Then you have a little bit of extra information that you will get after you complete the first part. And of course, please go through this. It's honesty policy here. Go through this and then read the second part once you actually get to that second part. But hopefully you guys will kind of enjoy this, and it'll take you through the framework there of critical thinking that we've been learning about. All right, let me come back out here so we can keep going here through the playbook. All right, as I mentioned, you'll submit that certificate for LinkedIn Learning. So we're simply looking for, like, it's your name that you did it and it's the correct course that you've submitted, and that it has recency of this course. So there you go. All right, the final two things, guys, we have our final version of the college article. So you're taking that feedback, we're polishing for all the things we'll talk about in the grind video and that you've been learning: plain language, concision, clarity, active voice, all of that stuff. All right, and then you're going to explain to me in a short memo. Do not spend too much time on this memo. This is just to highlight the changes that you've made, to let me know you're going through the process, and for also to you to kind of learn and like think about it as you're going through it. So you're just writing a standard memo. You've learned this in 2700. If for any reason you are not clear on what a standard professional memo is and you'd like more guidance, make an appointment with me, email me. I'm happy to walk you through a standard memo. It's something that we always cover in 2700. So you'll have a standard memo. You're going to address the changes that you made, why you made those changes, and then how did the peer review process help shape your writing experience? What was that like? I typically receive this as just one page. You may need to go on to 2 pages, but certainly not required. Standard memo formatting: writing clear, concise, and edited memo. All right, folks. So as you know, you will submit that final draft by the end of the week. So again, if you have any questions, make an appointment. I look forward to seeing these nice polished articles. You guys have done a great job so far. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. All right, bye now.